they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I'm pissed! Hey, what is going on, everybody? I know I haven't uploaded in a while, and I usually do gaming videos, but there's some discussion videos here, few and far between. The cops are outside driving down the street, and I think it's because of the absolute war crime, the absolute violation, the absolute crime that I am reading from this article right now. And I just want to, we'll wait for all this to pass before I keep talking. Sit with my anger. Okay, everything should be cleared up now. You might hear some cars driving by. I'm sorry about that. But I was scrolling on YouTube, and I saw a video by a YouTuber named Tyrone Magnus. Now, I watch his videos, I like his reactions, and I like, him when he discusses topics and when he, discusses some movie news and stuff like that. Right. We all love that. He has just made a new video that has spawned me to make this video. And this is going to be a rant. This is my first rant on the channel. Probably won't be my last, but this is something I had to talk about and I just can't let slide. So, we have an article here by Game Rant. I'm not going to show it just in case, but I will have a picture right here of the screenshot of the article. So, they have an article titled, Madam Web rumored to ruin the most iconic Spider-Man quote. Madam Web is rumored to alter an iconic Spider-Man quote, and fans are unhappy with the change to one of Marvel's most famous phrases. No, it's not the most iconic Spider-Man quote. It's not the most famous phrase in Marvel Comics. It is the most iconic, most famous phrase in all of comics. Okay? In all of comics, in all of media, pop culture, fiction, everything. This is the most iconic quote. So we go on to read. Madam Web is rumored to have tweaked Spider-Man's mantra, with great power comes great responsibility. A quote that has symbolized the superhero's moral compass for decades. The phrase originated from the Spider-Man comics and is closely associated with the character. Ben Parker mentioned it in the 2002 Spider-Man film after imploring Peter Parker to use his newfound abilities more responsibly. Right. However, Peter failed to stop the burglar who would go on to kill his uncle, making the impact of the quote deeply personal. Most recently, Aunt May echoed the full phrase in an emotional moment to Tom Holland's Peter Parker in Spider-Man No Way Home. Mere moments before her demise, it has become an iconic motto representing Spider-Man's strong sense of responsibility and care for using his superhuman abilities for good. The full phrase is, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. That was said in the comics by Aunt May. She's the one who said it. So then we move on. According to the X/Twitter account, Cryptic4K Qual, Madam Web will feature a different version of the quote. So the tweet is right here. He or she tweeted, Madam Web will reportedly change the iconic, with great power comes great responsibility quote to, when you take responsibility, you will gain powerful abilities. What the fuck? Okay, now listen, I understand what they're going for. You know, it's on a more personal, non-superhero level. You know, when you take responsibility of your actions, you gain a powerful ability to see things from different point of views, to be able to take responsibility, to fix yourself, to fix your problems, to better yourself. Right, I get that. But this is a fucking Spider-Man movie. This is a comic book superhero movie. It's not necessarily a Spider-Man movie, but it's from the Spider-Man universe. And you want to take the most iconic phrase, quote, mantra, slogan, whatever you want to call it, and you want to butcher it and make it like this. Now, there are two different quotes here. One source is saying, when you take responsibility, you will gain powerful abilities. The other source, Cryptic 4K Qual, or 4K Quality, when you take on the responsibility, great power will come. Basically the same thing, just reworded. I get what they're going for, but this does not fit in a Spider-Man movie, in a comic book movie, period. They have powers. They didn't get powers from their responsibility. The whole point of Spider-Man, the whole point of that quote, is him gaining these powerful abilities. And he's not used to this. He's a kid who's poor. He goes paycheck to paycheck. He goes to school. He gets bullied, okay? He gets these great powers. And what does he do with them when he first gets them? He's not responsible with them. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know his own strength. He doesn't know his powers. He doesn't know the full spectrum of his abilities. And Uncle Ben sees this. Uncle Ben sees that he's lost. He doesn't know what to do with this power. And Uncle Ben doesn't want Peter to go down a dark path. He sees that Peter is getting more aggressive. He sees that Peter is getting angrier. He's getting more bitter about things. He's becoming a little too confident, more cocky than confident. So what does he tell him? He tells him, Peter, you have this power. You need to have responsibility. He says, with great power comes great responsibility. Now, they explain this quote right here. They say this would significantly shift from the traditional Spider-Man mantra. This quote will emphasize personal responsibility leading to power rather than power intrinsically creating responsibility. So, you're telling me that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, got his powers from being responsible. He got his spider powers from being responsible. No. Just as I said before, he was not responsible with his powers. He got more cocky. He got more of a bloated head. He lost his heart. He was getting bitter. He was getting mean. He was going down a dark path, and Uncle Ben stopped him. Uncle Ben told him, look, Peter, you have these powers. You need to use them for good. You need to have responsibility with this power. It's the same thing as saying the President of the United States. You have the power to set off a bunch of nukes and destroy the entire world. But guess what? You need to have responsibility. You are responsible for what happens in this country. You are responsible for what happens and how this country is run. You have the great power to do it, so use it responsibly. Don't just go around destroying other nations and taking money out of schools and out of small businesses, out of family businesses, out of families' pockets. Just because you have great responsibility doesn't give you great power. Like I said, I know where what they're trying to say with this, but it does not fit in a Spider-Man movie. That is the reason why we have super villains. Super villains do not have responsibility. They have great power, but they don't have responsibility. They don't take responsibility for their actions. Most supervillains, 99% of the time, say that they do the things that they do because of other people's actions. Staying on trend with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Norman Osborn doesn't take responsibility for what the Goblin does, because he says the Goblin controls him, which he does, but it is still Norman who put himself in that situation. He says that he did the whole transformation process of turning into the Goblin because the board was kicking him off. Oscorp needed results, so he put himself into that. And now that he's Goblin and he's crazy and he's destroying everything, he doesn't want to say that it was his fault. It's the Goblin's fault. It's the board's fault. It's Oscorp's fault. He never takes responsibility. Norman never says, you know what? I'm the Green Goblin. I'm doing this. I did this to myself. No, he never says that. Because he doesn't have responsibility. But he has great power. So this quote does not work. And if you want to talk about another Spider-Man piece of media, Marvel Spider-Man. The first one, Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative does what he does because of Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn turned him into the supervillain he was. Norman Osborn killed his parents. So he doesn't take responsibility for his actions. He says that he does these terrorist attacks. He kills these people. He tries to kill Norman. He blows up a rally and kills countless people. And it's Norman's fault. It's not his fault. It's Norman's fault. So you tell me how this quote even works in a Spider-Man movie. Responsibility does not give you great power. Great power does not give you responsibility. With great power, there must also come great responsibility. That is the quote for a reason. That is Spider-Man's mantra. That is his slogan. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I've said everything I needed to say. This is stupid. Like I've said 3 or 4 times now. I get what they're going for, but it doesn't work in a Spider-Man movie. It doesn't. Or I know it's not a Spider-Man movie. It doesn't work in a superhero movie, period. Villains are always blaming others for what they're doing, and heroes take the responsibility. Villains do not. So responsibility does not give you great power, because a lot of villains have powers, but they don't take responsibility for their actions. So just even negating all of that, it still doesn't work in a Spider-Man movie. It doesn't work in a superhero movie. It doesn't work in a comic book movie. Just because you take responsibility for your actions doesn't give you superpowers. And just like your superpowers don't give you responsibility, you have to take responsibility. So, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. Always remember that. That is the quote. That will forever be the quote. I love Spider-Man so much. Spider-Man has been in my life my entire life. I mean, look at the shirt I'm wearing. Look. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Even if any of that didn't make sense to you guys, what I was saying or what I was ranting about, when you take responsibility, you will gain powerful abilities. That just sounds stupid. Period. It sounds stupid. It sounds lazy. It doesn't sound cool. Now, in all honesty, if they were to use the original quote in this, we honestly probably wouldn't have liked it either. So either way, it's a lose-lose situation. But they chose the worst possible option. They chose the worst possible route to talk about this quote. They should have just left it out of the movie, left it alone. But no, they could have said it. They still would have got heat for saying it because that's Peter's thing. Or they could have just not said it and been fine. Nobody would have, been mad that it wasn't in the movie. Because again, it's a Peter Parker, Uncle Ben, Aunt May thing. But instead they chose to change it. And they're choosing to alter the greatest quote in all of pop culture. So, that's the video. Leave your opinions down below. Give the video a like. Subscribe, share the video. Whatever you want to do. I will greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment on what you want to see next on the channel. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to be doing something, obviously. And I do plan on upgrading my PC very soon. I'm currently running a Ryzen 5 3600 and a 980 Ti graphics card, and I'm going to be upgrading to a Ryzen 9 5900 and a NVIDIA 4060 Ti. So we should be able to play just any game out there. So whatever you guys want to see, whatever you guys want me to play, leave it down below. I'll definitely play it and try to just put out, better games, better, newer released games on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy the rant. I hope you guys enjoy all future videos, and I hope you guys stick around and subscribe. I thank you guys for coming and watching the video. Thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.
1, 2, 3, 4. My mind, sometimes, my heart, sometimes I lose myself almost every time. I feel the pain, I see the rain as it drip down my face, yeah, drip down my face, yeah. Mind on left in the wind, I'm losing it all once again, but I don't need no help.